minutes I got into the dressing room, so nothing serious.
What's allowed you and Morgan to kind of find that chemistry as of late that has also resulted in results in the standings?
Yeah, I think we're just focusing on good defense, following off the rush, and try to be closer forwards in the D zone and try to be physical as well.
What do you notice about how Auston is blocking shots this season?
It's great. He's had some huge blocks for us. So I think a lot of our guys try to block as many shots as possible. It's not always easy, but yeah, he's for sure had some great blocks for us.
Do you know why you got a penalty on Tuesday?
I do, but I think it was Pierre. We're supposed to get the penalty, but yeah, I was a little bit confused there, but it's all good.
Those 2 games ago, those last 2 games were pretty physical. Were you kind of surprised, given your history of shots, that it was physical, but not as crazy as maybe the game against Florida and against Boston?
Yeah, I think maybe it wasn't as physical, but I think they moved a lot of pace, so it made it hard on some breakouts. They stayed very close to the breakouts, so it was hard to in breakouts. As maybe it was against other teams, but yeah, I think we're ready to play physical whenever we play teams to play physical.
Auston is deserving, of course, of winning the All-Star game, but you're disappointed that Williams still hasn't got a chance?
Yeah, I mean, he's having a great year. I guess that's what happens when it's only like 1 or 2 from each team, so unfortunate for him, but I think it's just going to keep going.
Back to the All-Star game, what's it mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, it's it's a big honor. It's extremely humbling to go to be voted in, and I'm looking forward to it.
A little more for the Austin as a fan, that deciding factor.
Sorry.
A little more inspiration for fans.
Yeah, I mean it means a lot. Like I said, obviously the format and everything. It means a lot to be voted in, to be wanted to go. So, like I said before, it's a big honor, and I'm extremely humbled. So.
What do you like the most from your past experiences?
I think just beating guys that maybe you don't really know so well, and that you play against on any given night. So I think it's cool just to get to know people, just to enjoy the whole experience, and just kind of take it in. And it's nice. I've had my family there with me, in previous times, and they have a really good time as well. So obviously, Florida's a nice place to get a couple days off. So I'm looking forward to it.
You're fully deserving, but you obviously see guys
Yeah, I mean, I think just with the way it's set up, you're always going to have guys that are pretty deserving of going that won't go just because of the format. But in the end, it's I think he's going to keep playing the way he's playing, and I don't think something like that really rattles him or gets to be too big of a factor. But like I said, I just think with the way it's set up, you're going to have guys that probably deserve to go that aren't going to go, and that's just the way it works.
I'm not sure if you've taken a gander at the roster. We've got Tages going this year for the first time. All forwards on the Atlantic team. What stands out about the team you have there?
I did not know that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It'd be nice to see him there, and a lot of guys. Like I said, it's just really cool, that cool experience just to kind of take in and get to know guys that maybe you know as well, and even pick guys' brains and just kind of enjoy the weekend. It's not too it's not too high intensity. It's pretty relaxed, and just try to enjoy it.
You had a good shot block, of course, last night, which got a lot of attention. But just in general, your shot block numbers are going up this year. Do you attribute that to like defensive positioning, or what do you think that's happening?
I don't know. I think just reading the play. I think a lot of times, like the way we play, we pressure a lot at the point and stuff. So sometimes the shots that are coming in maybe aren't as heavy just because we don't have as much time. So sometimes they're just easy to kind of get in front of and just block, and you're not coming in too hard. So I think that's a big factor, just with the way we defend and stuff. Just opens up lanes for that. So.
First time you guys have seen Montreal since the season opener. Also, what are you thinking going into tomorrow against the Habs team there? Is where it is in the standings.
Yeah, we just got to be focused, go in there with a mindset that we don't have to be denied, and just make sure that we have a good start. It's been a while since we played these guys. I think first game of the year, so I think we've come a long way from there, from then, and we're trying to continue to string along wins and improve every day.
I think Bunting might have been mic'd up in practice today. What do you think it would be like if he was ever mic'd up for a game?
There wouldn't be a whole lot of footage you could use, but yeah, I don't know. He was mic'd up today in practice, and he had an all-time pretty rough practice, so I don't know. Next time it's going to be mic'd up, and we'll figure it out.
Croaks status.
Yeah, it's just a maintenance day for him. It shouldn't affect him for tomorrow.
Auston got a lot of attention for that shot block yesterday, but in general, his shot block numbers are up this season. What are you seeing from him that's allowing that to happen?
I've always taken him as a guy that's going to stand in front of a shot. As a low center, a lot of times, pucks are directed towards the net, and you're going to be in the line of fire, and he stands in there and knocks those pucks down. So, yeah, if the numbers are higher, I think maybe it's a sign that maybe we've defended too much this year. But, I want to see that. Meaning we spend too much time in our end. But I've never had an issue with Austin's willingness to stand in front of shots.
You're saying last night, Sheldon, just the way he took over that game and, kind of closer to what we saw from him last year. How can he kind of keep that going now?
I think it's just the rhythm and the feeling of it. I don't think a player of his caliber is ever short on confidence, so it's not a confidence thing, but it's just it's that rhythm, and you get in your groove. That's why most scorers are streaky, because you get that feeling. And he's been pretty consistent, in terms of his scoring, but he hasn't had, big nights like, last night felt like a big night. 2 goals in a short amount of time, and a number of chances where it could have been 4 or 5 goals. It's crossbar and breakaway. Those are the kind of nights I think that players of his caliber put together, and then they go on good stretches and good runs of feeling good.
There's another indication either too, the manner in which he scored last night, 2 completely different goals, or the shot was placed, that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. You look at all of his shots from last night. There's a whole plethora of different looks there. Like I said, the breakaway, he goes side blocker, he scores another one off of a pass out from high blocker. He shoots 5-hole a couple times, goes to the back end on a couple. So, yeah, like I said, he used the full arsenal yesterday, maybe save for the one-timer. But like I said, it wasn't just the goals that went in, but just the nature in which he was able to generate the other chances. So how he was skating, how he was getting to his spots, he was arriving on at the right time when the puck was coming into the scoring area. Those are all timing things that seemed like it was all happening the way that it does when he's at his best.
How much of a relief is it to see Timothy Liljegren back unscathed after just a little bit of a scare?
Yeah. Anytime a puck comes flying in like that, you're not quite sure, and it's a dangerous situation. But we were put at ease pretty quickly that he was going to be okay. So in that sense, not a big surprise. But when it first happens, the reaction on our bench is sure a concern for him for sure.
On the topic of Marner scoring that goal in the PK last night, USA Hockey, for all the kids who play competitive below 18, at 4v5, they're not allowed to ice the puck. If they do, plays blown dead, they get a D-zone face-off. And what they're trying to do is encourage kids, rather than just get the puck on the PK and do what I do in my beer league and just fire it down the ice, to make a play, to look to either soft chip off the glass or look for a teammate. Is that where the game's going, or at this level is that already where it's long gone?
Well, I think, first of all, I think there's a ton of benefits in the youth hockey to play that way. My 2 boys have played a little bit in U.S. tournaments, and they've experienced that. And I've watched some of those games, and I've seen it. I'm a big fan of that. Also, at least in the tournaments we were in, it was 1.5 minute penalties as well. The penalties weren't as long. They were 1.5 minutes instead of 2 minutes. Which I think encourages more 5-on-5 play, which is also positive for young kids. But yeah, to have that 5-on-5 mindset, to continue to hold on to pucks, make a play, and then also at the same time make it harder for you to kill the penalties. Is there something there? I don't know if we'll ever get to that point at the pro game, or if it would make sense to, but at the youth level, I think there's a lot of benefits to maximize how much time the players can spend in that 5-on-5 mindset, and to make a play under pressure. That said, I think, at our level, when there's a play there and you want to make it so you can get on the attack on a 2-on-1, or generate a scoring opportunity. You need to be able to do that. At the same time, if you make that mistake, it's that much more dangerous, and there's so much more at stake at this level that at times you just want to get it down and get a breather and get off. But we've got some players, Mitch, who leads the pack for us in this regard, that can make that good decision at the right time and make the other team pay for it. So you want to be able to capitalize on that for sure.
Just when you were down there, did you find, were there more whistles, or had players adjusted?
No, I didn't find as many whistles. My kids are young enough. I generally find that not a lot of them can shoot the puck down the ice all the way down anyway. So there wasn't a ton of icings, but I felt that it just let the game flow a little bit more like it would at 5-on-4, and there's a lot of dead time in those icings, and when the pucks go down the ice and the other team's getting set in their breakouts or whatever it might be, and the line changes, and it's a little bit. I think in youth hockey you're trying to eliminate as much dead time as you can to keep the kids moving and involved and developing.
What don't we see about the impact Curtis Sanford has had this year?
I think probably the biggest thing would just be how consistent he is. He doesn't get too worked up one way or the other. He's very steady and just works with the goalies and just goes through the routine, and very level-headed. And I think that comes through his own experience in playing in the league, in particular in the Canadian market. And he partnered for a while with Roberto Luongo, who obviously was a great #1 goaltender and had lots of responsibility and pressure that came along with it. And it fits his personality well, and that he's unfazed by anything that's happening outside of our walls, and I think that allows our goalies to just remain focused.
Do you have a longer runway for Sammy and Sheldon, or do you get Matt back in tomorrow?
Sammy will go tomorrow.
I know in the pregame you mentioned you guys were departing from the 5-4 power play for a bit. Is it a full departure, or do you see situations where if you're in need of a quick strike or you're down? Or
I think what we've learned from it is that it's something that can work for us. We scored some goals in that manner, getting Mitch more time with the puck on a stick at the top and to make those decisions for us, but also to get Michael Bunting a part of our power play, and he scored us some big goals. So we like that we can go to that, and that's really what it was. If you go back, we went about around a 10-game set there. We were operating in between 8 and 10% on our power play, so it was really struggling, and we needed to make a change. And it was right around that time we made the change, just before Sandin had got injured, but Riley was injured already, so our options were limited. So it just made sense to try it, and I thought it gave us a boost. And we've learned that it can work for us at times. As I said throughout that, I never looked at it as a long-term solution. But I think the more you can try different things and learn some things about your group, it can help us. The other part of it is, I think what came out of it is that Mitch is extremely comfortable at the top there, so we can get more rotations and more movement. And even if we have a defenseman on the ice, doesn't mean he has to necessarily spend the whole time at the top.
Bunting was mic'd up at practice today. I'm wondering your perspective on how he influences the games with his mouth, whether it's getting the team fired up or getting under the skin of the opponent.
I think he can raise the emotion and the intensity of the game as a result, raise the temperature, which I think at times is very good for our team and shows how competitive he is. At times, you've got to tone him down to not cross the line and stay focused and not hurt the team in that regard. But I like a lot of that fire that he has. It's a big part of his game, and I think it adds a lot to the personality and emotion of our team.
So just to follow up on that response, it's something you may want to try again, if the situation calls for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like I said, it served us well at a time when we needed it, and who knows what the future holds.